Imagine life without time. If you didn't perceive time at all as you experienced your day, what would it look like? Um, and I've done videos on this before, but it seems we still don't quite understand what time and space is. But that's where the next leap is. You can tell by our consciousness the reality that 2012 is a prediction that it'll be the end of time. So, somebody, someplace, our consciousness, somebody has known that we have the potential to end all time. So, how would time end? And if you look at how you perceive your world, it's P brains. P for represents the number of brains, BRANES, used to perceive your world. So one brain is a particle with height, two brain is a particle with height and width, three is a three-dimensional object. To view three-dimensional objects, for you to be a being and see things from a 3D perspective, um, you're in a fourth dimension looking at a three-dimensional world. Now, if you add time to it, then you're in the fifth dimension, or you have to be outside the bubble to see yourself doing it. So that's why you're always going to be one up of where you are. So right now we are experiencing the fourth dimension, which is three-dimensional objects moving in time. And like my cat, I'm pretty sure she lives without time. I'm pretty sure she sees three-dimensional objects moving, but I think a cat would probably perceive their world without time, which probably means they're more advanced than we are. We think that they are beneath us, but they're probably actually a lot more advanced because we're stuck in a box with time. As long as we're perceiving the world with time, we're very limited into how and what reality is and what it's shaped into. Now, what is a three-dimensional object? Let's just take the smallest piece of dust, particle at the smallest end of it, and however we see it through a microscope or whatever, it still is a three-dimensional particle that we view it and measure it in time. We understand what it is within time. Now, it's like all information, everything that makes everything what it is, it's like it's got this DNA code to it. It's got the makeup of what it is. A rock is a rock with the information that it holds in what kind of rock it is. And it's just think of it as it's in a little plastic container, and the information says I'm a rock, I'm a rock, I'm a rock, and then it is what it says that information is. It just sits there in that um, holographic bubble and is a rock to somebody viewing it. Now, in the smallest aspect, you'll see that it's just spinning pieces of information of what it is. That's what your DNA is just information that's spinning. It's like the smallest thing is actually looks like it's hollow because all there is in there is information, and information can't be seen. So you can't really see it. It looks hollow, but there is information in there, DNA, of what it is. Now, if you go out into space, time changes. It takes light years to get from one place to another. It's like the further away you get from self, the more time tends to change. So the more we are within our oneness of ourselves on a planet, time appears to be the same, but it speeds up and slows down. If you get into the quantum where everything happens quickly, you see one change happens instantly. or the more you go out away from yourself into the galaxies and the stars, you'll see the same thing going on. Like when they take pictures, it looks like there's something spinning, like our galaxies that have something spinning. What is that spinning? They're spinning pieces of information within the largeness of ourselves, just like there is something within the smallness of ourselves. And that spinning is this information that needs to find it's like all of reality, everything of who you are, everything that it takes for you to understand your powers, your abilities, everything for you to mature into who you're supposed to grow into, means the spinning information needs to spin right down into a spiral until it transforms into something else. So that is the potential that all of humanity could be um, ready to transform. Whether we do it this round or not, it's a matter of, do you want to repeat this cycle over again until we, live this out thousands and thousands and thousands of years? You know, but you have to let go of the particle world. You have to let go of everything you believe to be true and open your perspective for something completely different. And so basically, how you can gauge what this spinning information is, it's like all problems, all they are is something you need to understand. That's all. Every problem is just something you're supposed to understand. That is the meaning of your existence, is to understand why things are happening to you and learn from them and grow from them. And sometimes it takes us generations to be able to learn from our mistakes. But basically that's all human experience is to mature through experience. And how you mature is through overcoming all of your challenges. So the spinning, this time experience, is the time a problem is born, and the end of time is when a problem finds its solution. Doesn't time end? Like when you're struggling to find the answer to a problem, doesn't it take eternity? But as soon as you overcome that, it's like poof, instantly, it's gone. You never have to repeat it again. Um, Life, if you are living in the solutions of all of your experience, there is no time, because you're not waiting for anything. You're just being. You're just enjoying the solutions of your life. Now, I've seen a lot of people come up, Deepak Chopra is one of them, that he seems to think that, okay, if we weren't chasing our problems, if we weren't growing and evolving, something to move us in time, then we would be mummified mummies. We'd be just like beings that aren't moving, aren't doing anything, aren't expressing ourselves. So, no, that is a limited belief that, okay, in order to find the answers to everything, if that's not what you want to experience in the heaven of your life, then no, you would still have to be able to enjoy life with that in it. So that means that you need to have challenges in your life, but know that each challenge you'll have the solution. It's just you're going to enjoy the process more. Instead of feeling painful, you'll be more excited when the challenge comes. So it's just a matter of changing your perceptions of how you experience life. That no matter, if you go down this tunnel of your mind of, okay, what would heaven really look like? You all want it. Everybody that's believing in a Bible wants to get to heaven. So it's like, okay, this is something you need to create. What does it look like? What does it feel like? It will not have time in it, because time is just the measurement from you visually experience a problem to the point where you can describe it with text and words and feelings, to knowing what the solution is. It's invisible. The solution is invisible to you. You don't think it's there. You're going to spend a lifetime searching for the answer. You're going to have addictions until you find the answers. You're going to do your best until you find the answers. You'll accept and allow everything the way it is until you find the answers. But that's ultimately what human life is all about, is finding those answers. And then when you find the answers, it's like, then what? What are you going to do with them? And it is, write a list of everything you hate, then write a list of what's the opposite, and then you'll start to understand what your heaven looks like. Really, really reflect on yourself. I mean, if you had to live an eternal life, what would you want to be doing in that eternal life? It's time to use your right brain and imagination, because that's where it starts. There was one other guy that was doing a video today on somebody must be talking to within time, doing all of these predictions, because there was movies that um, people names in this movie were actually people in today's time, 10 years later, people in those same positions with the exact same name are in existence. It's like, yeah, predictions are the, as soon as you put it out into the universe, you're making a recipe to create whatever it is you've put out there. So it's like, be real careful what you put out there, because even if you don't see it, if you put words out there, you are creating it. And I have not been the master of this, because I know I probably put some negative shit out there which made it me create it. But I'm learning how to master this as well. But the biggest thing is changing your attitude and knowing without a doubt, okay, I'm going to experience the solution. Like, this is just the exciting part, is the building of it, and the going from nothing to something. Um, this is a challenge. This is part of heaven. You got to just sort of act and walk and talk as if you're in heaven, like there is no time, because I don't care. I am living the dream, not waiting for the dream to be created. And it's like, who else wants to play with me? you know? And when you're building the solution, the problem will just go away. Focus and being in the problem just means you're just talking about the problem. And I don't know where you're ever going to come up with a solution when you're just talking for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years about how bad everything is, and oh, here is another bad thing, and oh, here is another bad thing. When you do that, then you are the problem. So you got to jump into the solution. And it is, try and perceive your world without time. Perceive that the solution is already experienced. You just don't know what it is yet, and it's going to get exciting for you to find it. Peace out.